This is Mark, All American Health, non-emergency medical transportation services. We outside today, having a good day, enjoying some of this this beautiful weather here in the Bay Area. So you're gonna find me looking down on my notes because this video is kind of special to me. It's about, how do I sell to different facilities? Each facility comes with its own method. There's not an exact way that you want to sell to different facilities. And I have three categories for facilities. The consumer, I consider them a facility or a category. Then you have nursing homes / assisted living facilities. I consider those a category. And then hospitals are different, in my opinion. And the reason each of them are different is because you're having to cater to each one in a different fashion, and depending on that fashion determines what you charge them, what type of availability that they want you to be available for, and your expectations when providing services. So let's go through these real quick. Hopefully this will be a short video. You guys know I try to hit you with short spurts of good quality information, not the extra babble and the long speech and all of that. But the information I try to give you on every video is really focused, gets you where you need to go, and we move on. A lot of situations don't take longer than 7 to 10 minutes if you know what you're doing. I'll wait. Some of y'all don't know what y'all doing, so it take y'all forever. It don't take me forever. Strong 7 to 12, and we should be done with a video. As I digress, so let's get into it. The first section are consumer-based, direct services to consumers. So most consumers, they're gonna call you within 48 hours to schedule transportation, and their expectation likely will be they want to make sure that you're available to provide the service that they're looking for. So a part of what you charge them needs to include your availability in a small window of time. Now, a lot of you are coming from the broker model, so you already understand the concept that they're going to download a bunch of trips to you 24 hours ahead of time. You get to accept or reject whichever ones you want or which ones you don't want, and then you kind of move on from there. So that's actually a relief to you. 48-hour notice, that's a pleasant relief. But you have to remember with consumers, you need to be spot on your time. Your time needs to be focused. It needs to be exactly where you need to go, doing exactly what you need to do. You cannot be late with B2C clients. Of course, you want to upcharge when it's same day work, holiday work. You upcharge. We received a call earlier today. A gentleman wanted us to take him to the casino, and it was like a 7-mile trip, but it's a holiday weekend. And I actually put that on my profile that holiday rates may vary. And the price that I gave him, he didn't want to hear it. So as a result, he didn't take the trip with us. But if you look on my site on a holiday, it literally says holiday rates may vary because availability is limited. We wanted to accommodate the trip, but again, B2C relationships, same day calls, come with a higher rate. And don't be scared to lose a trip if a person doesn't want to pay you for your services. They're paying you to be available. They're not paying you to transport them somewhere. And a lot of times that's the disconnect with consumers. So what I like to do is I actually like to explain it to them. Ma'am, you do understand it's a holiday weekend. We're real thin with drivers. We can get it done, but there is an extra charge. Go ahead and let them know that before you give them the fee. Before you even get their pickup address and their destination address, go ahead and let them know. Look, you calling me on a holiday weekend, I already have to stay or control or temper my level of partying. So it's not like I can be hung over and transport you in a professional fashion. So I'm putting my holiday aside for you, which is perfectly fine. That's what a business owner does. But that also needs to be compensated because in your common population, everyone gets the holiday off and you're free to do what you want. So if you're making yourself available, you need to be compensated for your availability and your professionalism and your time. So keep that in mind when you're selling your services to consumers, your B2C customers. Your B2B customers are a little bit different. We're gonna go. Our next one is nursing facilities. So nursing facilities, the reason they're a little bit different is because nursing facilities, yes, they're paying for availability, but the biggest thing that nursing facilities want from you is consistency. It's not actually availability. If you're being consistent with how you provide the service, you can tell a nursing facility, no, I can't cover the trip for whatever reason. Now, granted, I don't know why you would want to, but you can tell them that. But the service that you provide to them, the trips that you actually provide to a consumer, a B2B consumer at a nursing facility needs to be consistent every time. If you pick them up 1 hour early for their appointment, you need to consistently try to pick them up 1 hour early. If they're going further out and you have to pick them up an hour and a half, you want to consistently talk with them the day before, try to touch bases with their nurse. You want to show up, if it's an hour and a half away, you want to show up 2 hours to 2 hours and 30 minutes early. Why? Because you want to make sure that that client's ready to go because you have a long trip. That's you doing and being consistent. When you're providing services at a nursing facility, most nursing facilities, especially today, they're actually understaffed. So they always are looking for an extra set of hands. So you showing up early, say the appointment's at 9 o'clock and it's a 30-minute trip. So I'm going to assume you're going to show up at 8 o'clock in case there's some issues, or put on your schedule that the driver needs to be there at 8 o'clock in case there are issues. One, you have issues on the highway. If it's a 30-minute trip, it may take 40 minutes between the time it takes you to load the person, get it actually on the highway, and get them heading to where they're going, plus any separate incidences. So at the least, you want to show up 1 hour early. But to make yourself available to that nursing facility and to make sure that client is going, I would say show up an hour to an hour, 15 to 20 minutes early, and add it into the rate that you're charging. The reason I say that is because if that facility is like most facilities right now, they're understaffed. So they can use those extra set of hands to pick a client up, transport them, get them where they need to go. Sometimes even just get them, make sure they're out of the bed, their hair is combed, they've had some breakfast, or they have a snack going with them, help them get them into the wheelchair or onto the stretcher, get them dressed and ready to go, and then headed over to the facility. So you're actually providing them a service. You need to be compensated for that. The second you start providing that service, when you arrive to that facility, the second you get there, listen, it either needs to be an immediate pickup and load, or you need to start considering, this facility is always late. They never remember that the client has somewhere to go. So let me make sure that I provide that service to them, but you also need to remember to be compensated for it. So again, that consistent arrival, they're not going to really bother you about it. The bean counters aren't going to really pay attention or care that you added an extra, $7 to $10 on the A leg for time waited to provide that service. They're not going to, moan or complain about that. They're actually going to be appreciative of the fact that not only did you get there in enough time to provide a service to the client, you're actually being helpful in making sure that client's ready to go in a timely fashion. So they like that. Your other B2B relationship, of course, are with hospitals. So hospitals need a little bit of everything. Hospitals definitely want you to be consistent. If you say you can do a trip, they expect you to get that trip done. And they expect you to be inside a window of time getting that trip done. But they also need an extra set of hands sometimes. Hospital contracts are usually the type of contract that you really want to obtain because they're pretty consistent. They need the help. So your rate of reimbursement is usually a little higher. But you've got to make sure you have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed when you're dealing with hospitals. You want to provide them the most convenient professional service humanly possible. So if that means you have to stretch out a little bit to get it done, whatever it takes, as long as those nurses are feeling you and you're doing a good job, they'll keep sending you work. And a lot of hospitals are overwhelmed, so that work that you're going to get, it might come Monday through Saturday. It might come Monday through Sunday. It's just a question of what you're available to do and your capabilities of getting it done. And then the cool thing about hospitals, you can grow with a hospital. I'm in Florida, so there are about 7,000 people moving here to Florida a day. And that was a study done in 2020, if I'm correct. So there's 7,000 people moving here a day. this is one of those states where people are coming and staying and or coming to retire and die. So they're on their way to the grave, which sounds horrible, but in this industry it's great, and you should be able to put together why. People come here to retire, so they're in their late 50s, early 60s. They're on the back end of their life, so over the next 10 to 15 years, they're going to need your assistance more and more. And you want to make yourself available. They're going to put more pressure on hospitals, which i.e. is the reason why there are 3 or 4 additional new hospitals going up here in my area alone. And we're going to do our best to provide services to all of them. But we want to, each one means consistency, availability needs to be on point. You will have to be there and available to them Monday through Sunday. And your work hours are going to be rough. But if you can consistently provide that service to them, again, you can charge a premium rate, receive premium reimbursement. It's consistent, it's on time. Usually it's pretty good. So keep stuff like that in mind.